within the first hours of today, I went downstairs to get my mom a Coca-Cola in a plastic bottle since she was up at the time. She thanked me for it. I ended up staying up until about either 6, somewhere between 6:10 in the morning and 7 in the morning. And I ended up getting up around noon, I would say. In the afternoon, I worked on the latest styrofoam drawing project by drawing in the arms, including the blue rolled up sleeves that's part of the t-shirt. And to that end, after finishing the arms, including some black hairs, which is meant to mimic this, though it only extends to some of each arm. I continued the vest. I started at the front, pretty much at the very beginning. I continued it through the sides and the back. In order to make space for some area around the sleeves. And I colored the area outside of the vest blue. In keeping with the Costa Rica flag design for the t-shirt. I'm thinking of drawing a revolver on the front, most likely a Colt Army single, which is a picture that came up on Wikipedia when I searched revolver on Bing. As for the vest, as I've already done a safety vest design in the past, a design for a fluorescent vest, I have plans on either making it a sort of jacket or simply doing a plaid design throughout the vest. I could either do that on the back before I draw the revolver on the front, Or I could draw the revolver on the front first, and then do the plaid design of the vest. I have thoughts late today of doing using one of the styrofoam pieces I found in the basement a styrofoam drawing of the Rochester City symbol, in the colors of the Ukrainian flag. I've also been doing some searching for something to store Sharpie markers in order to be more organized in terms of both the colors and tip types, so that I don't have to dig through bags of Sharpie markers in order to find exactly what I need in order to do what I want to do on a styrofoam drawing. I believe it was pretty late into the noon hour, i.e. maybe around 12:40 p.m. when Mom left for an appointment to change her tires. And it turns out she left me some of her corn chowder soup that she prepared for herself. Though I didn't check for that until around 2:45 a.m. I mean p.m. The corn chowder soup was pretty good, and following having that corn chowder soup, I ate some of the Crunchyroll family pack of sushi. The sushi rolls were pretty good. It was around 6 p.m. when Mom and I had what was supposed to be her second attempt at a seafood broil. With shrimp, scallops, imitation crab, over linguine, pasta, potatoes, and some onion, along with some ears of corn. All with some butter and oil seemingly mixed in. Though I'm not sure if I can consider it a seafood broil. It was pretty good though. Better than the first attempt at a seafood broil. Although this new seafood broil had a lack of broth, so it seemed to me more like a seafood pasta dish. But then again, you could also say that the first seafood broil was more like seafood soup. And Mom and I both made some small talk while we each ate our served portion of the seafood broil. And when I was finished, I scooped up some of the remaining butter/oil mixture that was left on the plate with my spoon after mostly eating with a fork. Though I didn't consume all of the butter/oil mixture because the texture is a bit weird due to the oil part. There was also a point during which I brought in my Easter basket into my room without having touched any of the candy, though at some point today I ate the bag of Skinny popcorn. Skinny Pop popcorn. I think maybe it was maybe around the first hours of today that I did that. After the seafood broil meal, I walked to Wegmans, as these days the sun doesn't completely go down until about 8 p.m. So I completed the walk from 6 to 7 p.m. around that time. I carried a black plastic garbage bag, a single one, because this one ended up being much heavier than one of the white plastic garbage bags I carried in each arm the previous day, so I would alternate which arm I would use to carry the bag like this, because this black plastic garbage bag doesn't have a handle like the white plastic garbage bags, so I found this black plastic garbage bag initially in the garage. And then as I was nearing the town special police station, or maybe it's a post office with special police, I'm not entirely sure, I found a plastic bottle that I picked up in order to either recycle it or return its deposit as well. So I then had to alternate carrying the black plastic garbage bag with one arm and carrying the newly found plastic bottle in the other. There were still roadworks on the areas with the buttons for the crosswalks. Though they ended up looking a little different today from the last time I returned bottles at Wegmans about 2 days ago. And when I got to the deposits machines for the plastic/aluminum containers, I accidentally got a 2-liter, I think it was a Sprite bottle, either that or 7-Up. More likely to be Sprite. I got it into one of the machines without it detecting the barcode or something like that. so it wasn't sent into the machine, and I wasn't about to put my arm into that machine to retrieve that container. Since it's a running machine with a potential in-running nip point. So I went to the customer service desk and called over the single worker there at the time. To bring someone to retrieve that container deposit, since that container was wedged in deep enough that I would have to stick in my arm in order to get it, and I didn't want to do that because it could be potentially unsafe, and I knew I needed to get that machine running again to ensure nobody else did that same thing. And so as to avoid creating a delay, or longer queues than necessary at those container deposit return machines, since at the time I got to the machines, there was only one other person returning container deposits, but there are times when each machine will be in use and there'll be a queue for them. The black plastic garbage bag ended up making returning the container deposits more difficult than necessary, since it was a mixture of non-deposit containers and deposit containers. The non-deposit containers consisted of cans / plastic bottles of Arizona, along with some plastic bottles of blackberry juice or stuff like that. And I would have to dig around those non-deposit containers in order to find the deposit containers, a few of which were brands I didn't recognize, so they weirded me out a bit. But I tested them and they went into the machine. I sorted the plastic / aluminum deposits first. Went to the customer service desk, sorted the plastic deposit containers. In the future, I'm going to try and do that at one of the glass deposit machines. Typically, I only have a few glass container deposits when I return bottles, which is why I made it a habit to go to the customer service desk to return glass deposits. The idea is behind doing that is to try to save paper. Although at this point I'm not too sure if it makes a difference. I'm not sure if I actually save any paper by doing that. Then I use one of my feet to push open the mixed recyclables box. I push down on a leather, a sort of metal bar to push open the opening. Try to get 3 non-deposit containers. Put them into the opening, and then put my foot off the metal bar / leather so as to send those non-deposit containers through. And then when I was done with that, there ended up being one container deposit I missed. And during the part in which I filtered out the non-container deposits, it ended up being quite the workout for one of my legs. Specifically the one for which I kept the opening extended while I dug through the black plastic garbage bag for those non-deposit containers, and I ended up doing squats to dig into those last plastic / aluminum container deposits. That black plastic garbage bag, it was pretty big. And there ended up being Wegmans plastic bags within itself. Those plastic bags were used to hold the glass container deposits, the glass bottles. It was tied, the black plastic garbage bag, I fed the plastic bottle I found off the sidewalk area, that general area first. Was concerned about having it automatically time out after 30 seconds or so and get a deposit slip, thus wasting paper. I tore open the garbage bag in order to get to the containers. At the very beginning of the process, when I was filtering out the plastic slash aluminum container deposits, in the end I got back $3.80 in the form of 3 $1 bills, 3 quarters, and a nickel. And that nickel was from that last container deposit. I think it was a glass kombucha bottle by the GTS brand that I found after filtering out the non-deposit containers. At that mixed recyclables receptacle. Also, there was a point today in which I think it was during the early afternoon, around the time I ate the corn chowder Mom left for me, in which after reaching 100,000 local fame for Area 2, called the Holy Lands, in the Congregate game sword fight, I started a new school with, if I recall correctly, it's with Grandmaster Godfrey as the co-founder. And I'm currently on my second disciple for that school. And that disciple is currently around level 100 right now. As for the seafood broil, I didn't really detect any spice to it, no heat anyway. And Mom primarily used this zesty de abrol seasoning that Mom got from the Man Crates company for Christmas, with I think a pinch of this fiery purry spice. And the Zesty Day Abril is a third of the spiciness of the fiery purry.